Welcome to JIBRIN Angle on Oweleke TV. My name is JIBRIN, and this is my angle. What I have today is a monologue, and this monologue, I just want us to watch a video, and I will comment after the video is done. It's a commentary, just a 2 minutes commentary from a Nigerian journalist, and thereafter, I will come to make my comment about it.
They will stay in government and fund a life of dreams for their families, send their children to school abroad, buy houses abroad, even buy new citizenships for themselves in choice countries around the world. But you, the average Nigerian, who stood in the rain and sun to vote these people into office, you will adjust. Yes, you will. Your earnings will remain the same year after year and tenure after tenure. Your salary and your earnings will remain the same or even lose value to inflation. But the Nigerian in you will adjust. Some will even have time to be tribal bigots while they adjust. You will have time and mental space to know who is Yoruba and who is Igbo and who is Fulani and who is from Abakaliki. But the Nigerian spirit in you will never actually say enough is enough. Instead, you will adjust. There's nothing like being pushed to the wall for the average Nigerian. The average Nigerian will move from eating 3 meals a day to eating twice and to even eating once a day if you're fortunate enough. And the average Nigerian will convince himself that they don't even need to eat that much because you are busy. Yes, you will adjust. And a few months later, you will be pushed again to the wall with new taxes. The wall in Nigerian context is elastic, so you never really fight back because there's always space for you to make adjustments to more suffering. There's space. In the last few weeks, there have been stories of dozens murdered or kidnapped in Sokoto and Zamfara state. Those lives are not less important than the lives in other parts of Nigeria. And we all know that our government is failing in its most important task, the security of lives and property. Businesses are failing. Nigerians can't afford food or transportation. But as our fellow Nigerians mourn their loved ones in Sokoto and Zamfara and some of all those states, and as Nigerians are introduced to new taxes and the most expensive petrol in our history, once again, we will adjust and adjust and adjust. Because that's all we do, and is what we are good at. Good morning, Nigerians.
All right. I hope you watched that. I hope you heard everything clearly. Yes, adjustment. Nigerians are known to adjust. We all know all this. We have always that is. I don't know why. Sometimes I call it a virtue. Sometimes it's a vice. Yeah, it's been a virtue, but at this point, it has become a vice as far as I'm concerned, because this so-called virtue is turning against us. That is exactly what is happening, and our leaders, they know all this, and they are exploiting this weakness. While it is a virtue, I consider it a weakness. By default, a vice as well. So, and that is why our leaders are using it against us. They are exploiting this weakness. They know that Nigeria will always adjust. No matter how you beat Nigerians, they will adapt. They will adapt to the new state. That has been from the inception of this country, and it is even getting worse. We seem to be getting stronger in this adaptation. We seem to be getting much better in this adaptation. Even when we are dying of starvation, dying of deprivation, dying of so many ills, dying of lack of basic necessities, essentials of life, we keep adapting. Just like the news the journalist mentioned. I don't know that journalist. I just love that write-up, that commentary. Very, very great. A sort of, so just like he noted, a sort of, so what we do is we always adapt and adjust to the current situation. Unfortunately, regardless of how it affects us, we don't care. All we know, instead of we actually trying to step up by coercing, forcing our leaders to do the right thing, we rather adjust. We always adjust to our leaders' guide, our leaders' direction, where they lead us, where they lead us to. That is where we adjust into. So we have made ourselves a thermometer and a thermostat and a thermometer. So we just get to a particular environment, we adapt to that environment. We adopt and adapt that environment. That's exactly what we are doing in Nigeria. Nigerians, what we do is we trim down our excesses. Our leaders don't trim down, they increase their excesses. While they push it down, push the burden down to us, and as a result, we trim our own excesses. Like the journalist said, we from 3 square meals, we trim that to 2 square meals that we can afford. Then from 2 square meals, for those of us who cannot afford up to 2 square meals, we trim it down to a square meal. And some of us who even cannot afford a square meal, we trim it down further down. We trim it further down to probably once in 24 hours. And some of us even go on starvation for several hours, tens of hours, and sometimes in 24, 48 hours without eating anything, finding anything to eat, something to eat. Yet, we keep watching our leaders squander our hard-earned destinies. We keep watching our leaders manipulating us, caving to their manipulative gimmicks without acting. When are we going to start acting? This virtue has become a vice to us. Yes, tolerance, patience, perseverance, it's a virtue. But at this point, the virtue is turning against us. The virtue has become detrimental to our destinies and our interests. The virtue has become villainizing us right now. We have become a victim. The virtue has turned us into victims. And this is the time to fight. It is the time to take our destinies in our own hands. It is the time to tell our leaders that enough is enough. Because we have taken too much. There should be a wall in our front. We shouldn't be moving the wall. Anytime our leaders pushes us close to the wall, we push the wall further to create space for tolerance, to create space for more patience. No, we should stop pushing the wall. We should stop moving the wall further. When our leaders push us to the wall, let us stop pushing the wall further to create space for patience. No, let us react. Let us see, this wall should be static, should be entrenched on the ground, in the ground. This wall shouldn't be a movable wall anymore. We should stop moving it, because this wall has come to be, it has turned into an immovable wall. So this is the time for us to turn back and react. This is the time for us to turn back and bite. This is time for us to tell our leaders, no. This is the time for us to snatch that leadership from our leaders. This is the time for us to do the needful. Otherwise, some of us will go on starving to death. It is the time to say no to the criminals, the drug lords, the armed robbers, the looters, treasury looters, the wicked and the evil that are ruling us. It is time to take our destinies from their hands. They have been holding our destinies for too long. It is time for us to take back that destinies. Squeeze their hands, twist their hands, and force them. They cannot. That destiny, they will not release it. They will never release it willingly until we grab their hands and twist it and even break it before they can release that destiny. This is the time we have to do that. Let us break those hands so that they can release our destiny and we take that destiny in our own hands. This is my angle. Thank you.